Hey everybody, 5thHorseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and we are once again at Duna with our Duna all-in-one almost. All-in-one minus the drills. I have set up a maneuver node to flatten the orbit in relation to Ike to make myself a better Ike encounter. So we are going to fast forward to that. Slowly but surely. Look how close we are to an Ike encounter, and we're not getting it. Oh well. I don't know how long this maneuver is going to take, but it's 37 meters per second, so I'm going to guess somewhere around 30. Excuse me, somewhere around 30 seconds. So I'm going to hit F5. Whenever you assume, you hit F5. So let's see. I'm going to go down to say 30 seconds or so. And we'll do a quick test burn here. 15 seconds, so it's a lot shorter than I thought. Let's go down to about 7. And we got 2 goals this episode. One is to get this guy at least in orbit around Ike. But if he actually... There we go. That should be, ideally, negative 0.1. I might as well do the last meter per second here, or last decimeter per second of this burn. It's going to get right to the descending node and tap the engines ever so lightly. There we go. We can't do better than that. It's all shaky and crazy. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is, while this thing freaks out, I'm going to set a maneuver node here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the plus and minus option, which also exists in here, but I've already got it in the game. So now that the game actually has it and it works, I'm going to use it. And here's our encounter. Boom, next orbit. So... and actually, it's a pretty... Why are my conics not right? Conic mode 3 should... I wonder if it's an interaction between this mod and the thing. Let's go ahead and speed up time. We're not doing anything. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, ha! Kerbal Alarm Clock seems to get confused when you plus and minus 6. Or no, it doesn't. It just slowed me down for no particular reason whatsoever. That's interesting. Oh, I know why it slowed me down. It slowed me down because I was so close to Duna. I didn't think about that. I hope my periapsis... Yeah, my periapsis is above Duna. Okay, I still don't understand why... I mean, I have upgraded my stuff and everything, but I thought for sure. Let's try it now. Add a maneuver. Yeah, see, this is terrible. I am going to pause the game. The problem I'm having here is this is what Conics Mode 0 does. Is it shows you how you're going in relation to the thing. I want Conics Mode 3, which when this sphere of influence change happens, it should show me here what's going on. So, because I don't like this here, this whole periapsis is over here, and what do I do, etc., etc., etc. So I am going to exit out of the game. I'm going to go into my config and change my Conics mode there, and then I will be back in a little bit. Okay, my stupidity abounds. Conic mode 0 is actually what I wanted. Conic mode 3 is the bad one. Conic mode 0 is the correct one, so I was actually set up correctly. So, let me go ahead and delete this maneuver node because I don't actually care about it. I do, though, want to come in at this thing the other way because I want to be backwards, I guess is the right term. And I don't know the best way to do that, so I'm going to set up a maneuver node out here somewhere, wherever it lets me. Really not that picky. I just want to be able to, you know, do it. Oh, there it is. No, that's not where I want a maneuver node. Really? We're going to play this game? Let's see if it lets me drag. Yes, it does. Okay. Now, if I burn myself away from the planet, that's pretty much what I want. That was easy. Okay, I'm going to burn myself so that I come in just perfectly right in here. That's a 16 meter per second burn. Look at that. Little tiny burn, and it gives me a really good encounter. So we're going to do this, and then here, let's see how much this is going to take to get into Ike orbit. The least I need to do is that. And this burn is, we got a 16 here, and node number 2 is 146. So we got plenty of gas in the tank, which is important. Okay, so let's go ahead and speed up until we get here. It's a 6-second burn. It's 16 meters per second. That's probably about right, he says before hitting F5. Okay, and we'll crank down time to about 3 seconds here. Maybe 4? Yeah, we'll do it at 4. Okay, now the rest of this we can do by tweaking, by actually looking at Ike. And it really honestly doesn't look like we need to do any tweaking. That's pretty perfect right there. That's as good as I can really expect to be when it all comes down to it. So, now we just have to fast forward to the... Oh, that's crazy. Hey, Duna. Where's Ike? Look at that, we're like right here. Okay, now we're actually in Ike's sphere of influence. Now I'm just going to do this burn here. We're going to do the smallest burn we can to get into the sphere of influence. We'll do what we did before with this guy, how his apoapsis is in the 70s. Or 700s or so. There you go. Just to get a nice encounter here where... Or a nice orbit, I should say, where there's no chance of me screwing anything up and... Well, screwing it up. Okay, so now Ike. I like Ike. 43 minutes away, so let's go ahead and crank up time as we slowly come in for our encounter here. It's a minute-long burn, so we want to go down to 30 seconds. And there we go, the off-center jet here, just perfectly balancing out my my inability to balance the craft. Oh, look at Ike. Yeah, I removed the texture replacer. I don't remember why off the top of my head, but I did. I think I'm going to reinstall it because Ike looks a lot prettier with the texture replacer installed. I was testing something, and I didn't want... I think I was testing something, I didn't want the long load times, so I removed the visual stuff. I kept visual enhancements because I gotta have my clouds on Kerbin. Okay. Yeah, once we get in orbit here, I need to assess my situation as far as my other craft is concerned. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, that's good enough for me. It's like Cookie, it's good enough for me. Let's set him as a target and see where our ascending and descending nodes are. Okay, they're way over here. Let's see what it would cost to align our orbits. Negative 9.3, so we need to come up. It's a pretty cheap burn, really, when it comes down to it. I'm going to set this to the descending node. There we go. Negative 0.6. Oops. I'm just slowly pulling this thing down until, yeah, 0.0. Okay. So that's a 23 meter per second burn. I think we can afford that. It'll also equatorialize our orbit, which is we're going to want eventually anyway. So there we go. This is 4 hours away. It's almost a day away. We're getting kind of close to our 14-day Joule window. I've built that craft. my jewel craft. Might as well watch. Even though it's not as pretty as it could be, well, we can watch Ike swing around here. Oh, look at that. It can hold 8 people, but I think I'm only going to send 6 up there because we've already got 9 people up there. Jewel is also possibly, I'm thinking about making it my launching station to get to Elu, depending on how the windows go. Because now that we have more people out there, getting people to one planet from another is an option. It's a viable option. Okay, so what do we got here? Replace this maneuver node. That's already the maneuver node. So it's a 9-second burn. Let's go down to about 30 seconds here. 10, whatever. When it hits 5, I'm going to hit the gas. And my rockets are getting more and more off-center as I use more fuel. Not a big deal, but makes it a little hard to keep it going here. We should be, yeah, we're 0.2, really. Well, okay. 0.0, that's perfect. Okay, now we just need to find a encounter at either here or here. I don't really care which one. Although, actually, I'm going to switch to the Ike drills. Yeah, they have, I'm not going to say a lot more meters per second, but they do have more meters per second, and it looks like they're in Eclipse right now. Not a big deal, but nice to know. Okay, actually, let's go back to our craft. Oh, I heard that bloop 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 noise. That means we have experiments to do. Let's do a crew report and keep it. And an EVA report, whoever jumped out there. Commander R.D. Kerman, EVA report. I'm sorry. You're probably a, I don't know. I don't know my terms. Go ahead and keep that data. Get back in your ship. You are flying, though, so you're obviously the commander. Sidri is chilling out in the, in the hitchhiker, taking a nap. And RD, you are doing all the work. Okay, we actually need to do more than just get into orbit here. We need to, let's see, do I need to, no, I don't want to disconnect this thing, I don't think. No, let's go close. Let's go ahead and, oh, wait a minute. I attached this thing to the orbital construction dock thinking I'd be able to release it. And I can't. If I jettison, that's going to jettison fuel, won't it? I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I don't know what you all were talking about, but I, for one, noticed right away that I have 2 Separatrons here. Or actually, decouplers, I should say. I chose these over Separatrons because I can decouple this one to send him on his way, and then decouple this one later to recycle it. Which I just realized I didn't bring a recycler with me, which is going to make things interesting. We'll just say it's going to make things interesting. It looks like I didn't plan this very well when it all comes down to missions. I could have put the recycler over here. It would have added to the weight on this side. It would have been awesome. Oh well, what are you going to do? Okay, I also have set up the right amount of fuel. I mean, I didn't set it up. It's just this ship has the same amount of fuel as it had before. That's just the way it works. So, but we've got this guy here who we need to decouple him. So goodbye. And hello. And we should get your solar panels out. I think... Nope, I did not set up his solar panels. Oh well. Let's extend his panels here so he can bask in the sun. And his job, as always, is to, let's see, is going to be to get into a polar orbit over Ike. Now, we have found Cathane on Ike, but we have never searched for ore. So that's what I'm doing here. And I have the modified Cathane scanner, which will search for ore, as well as Cathane. Not that I need Cathane, but... so what we're going to do is out here at Apoapsis, we are going to turn his orbit a bit. Bring it down. Bring it out. Bring it down. Bring it out. Bring it down. Okay. And that's somewhat close to what we're going to do out here at... actually, that's pretty much exactly what we're going to do. And it's nice and set with the sun, so we'll never get out of the sunlight. I would like you all to know that I did that on purpose. This was not just a fortuitous accident. Yeah, it was actually a fortuitous accident. But I'm going to do this burn, and then I'm going to do another burn to bring his periapsis down to something. And that something is what I'm going to tell you in a moment when I go to the wiki and find out how close I have to be able, or how close I can be and still fast forward at 1,000 times. Okay, for a very small 125 meters per second, I can flip this guy around and get him into a nice polar orbit. So we are going to do that now. Well, once we fast forward. Oh, that is hilarious. I had no idea what that noise was. That noise was me scanning for ore and Cathane. That was pretty hilarious. Okay, so let's see. Close the alarm and unpause. This burn is going to take all of 5 seconds, I think. But we might as well hit F5. And hold on just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's see. 2.5 minutes. We're just going to go down to about 10 seconds or so, because I cannot see this burn taking more than a second or two. Of course, I have to get the engines going. It's not like we're on a time schedule here. Activate engine. Yeah, just a couple seconds. Let's check out our orbit here. Let's delete the maneuver node so we can see our orbit. Periapsis, oh, just above 50. That is absolutely perfect. Okay, now we're going to do one more maneuver to bring his, let's see, at the periapsis. We're going to slow ourselves down to get our apoapsis down to this 50 as well. Whoops. As soon as they flip, that'll be perfect. Okie doke. Let's flip ourselves. I guess we don't have to flip ourselves around. We just have to aim right here. We've already found some nice ore deposits, which is nice. And let's see. Let's fast forward ourselves around here. Don't want to go above 1,000 times. Okay, close the alarm and unpause. It's a 2-second burn, so we'll go right down to the wire here. Ready to burn. Okay, we should be really close. Our apoapsis is 53. Actually, why am I looking at that? I should be looking at this. Periapsis of 50, apoapsis of 53. We are 20 seconds from periapsis. I'm actually just going to do this in this mode. I'm going to get them both down as close as we can to 50 by 50. That's good enough. We're above 50 everywhere, which is exactly what I want. Okay, now let's make sure our solar panels are nice and sunward facing. And I am going to bid you adieu. I think hopefully this episode won't be too short, but we got our scanner in orbit, which is important. Next time we come back, I'll have the nice texture pack installed, so Ike looks a little bit better. But when I come back, we will have this whole planet scanned. We will see how the ore and Cathane match up. That right there is looking like a pretty good deal. Yeah, like right here. Ore of 279. This ore is 250. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. 9 million versus 16 million. So yeah, this yellow is better than red or orange, I guess. But yeah, like right here, and it's like perfectly equatorial. Well, okay, very close to perfectly equatorial, which I like. But who knows? Maybe we'll find something better. But I hope you enjoyed watching this. As usual, I enjoyed making it. I am 5thHorseman, and I will, as always, talk at you later.